very much in India. In fact, in the, just before the lecture started, this is what we were discussing with Mr. Khore, and this is a very serious thing because of the land reforms in India when we gain independence, and as more and more people are coming in the farming community, the land is being distributed, and so it is very difficult to sow the land and very small. So all the more reason why we require very sophisticated, high technology farm equipment. And I feel that that is something which the corporate sector can get into it. We need to develop through R&D very excellent farm equipment for small farms. We would like to get it leased because farmers are not capable of buying it, but a lease process can be done. And this is something that can be. Yet it is a really sad situation because no good brains go in agriculture. It's a this has been my it's my dream that the students who go to IITs and IIMs and other colleges, in fact, when everything is exhausted, when nothing is available, people go in agriculture. We get a large number of people who come for interview in our institute, and it's a really sad thing to see that the future of India's agriculture is going to be run by such people. And it's all across. It's whether in the ministries or anything in agriculture ministry, the quality of people who are coming to agriculture is really dismal. And unless until the best brains of our country go into agriculture, go into farm machinery, this country is going to be in very serious trouble. Because we will not be surviving on software, we will require food. Otherwise, we will be totally run by big companies from Western countries who will sell all the seed. Today, in fact, it will come as a surprise, in the last 30-40 years, not a new variety of wheat has come. What we are still using the wheat is what Mr. Borlaug made it in 1960s. It's an amazing thing. There's so many things in this tur ki dal. This is amazing that we still do not have any good hybrid for tur ki dal. Our yields are very low, and the quality of agriculture that we do in this country is absolutely dismal. And unless we have a very good R&D of agriculture, then we are going to be in very serious condition. Besides the good input of people in agriculture, there's a tremendous requirement of water supply. Water supply, again, as you know, in Maharashtra is in a very bad shape. We have much less rain. In fact, our lands are not fit for a lot of very high intensive water agriculture like sugarcane, but yet we grow sugarcane. Pardon me for that. But all our Western Maharashtra, this is what we do. And it's going to be a serious situation. The sad part is that we don't lack water. In fact, India gets 6 times more water than it really requires. But it is not at the right places, and it goes into rivers and ultimately not only rivers but into the ocean. So what we require is water harvesting. And in fact, since I am a member of this MERC, I really feel that just like the Electricity Act, we should have a Water Act, in which every person or a group of people, I should harvest the rainwater, dig the ponds, and supply the rainwater to the users. And this could be a joint stock company. Just if I dig up a pond in rural area, I'm not going to run away with that pond. It's going to stay there. So we can have a model where the villagers be a partner in ownership, where a company, a professional company, manages that and supplies water. And this is something which is possible. And just like the Electricity Act, if we have a Water Act, because today water is totally a state and a central subject, it's controlled by the government. If we allow this total freedom, we'll have a very major revolution at our hand. Issue of ownership of water bodies needs to be resolved. Water Act similar to Electricity Act. And ultimately, when we produce power, 70% of the energy simply goes as a waste heat. Only 30% is converted into electricity. And that waste heat can be utilized in desalinating water, in making the water pure. So a huge energy efficiency can be obtained by a combined power plant which uses heat and electricity. So water and electricity is something that can come out of the power plant. Now, energy is fine, you can create energy, etc. But I think there is a much bigger issue. Today, all the devices that the rural areas use have been sent from urban areas. They just diffuse. In fact, the role model of urban India is, rural India is urban India. When you have these fancy advertisements in which the most beautiful film actresses sell the soap, the people in the rural areas want to buy their soap. The whole thing has to be changed. And so I feel that besides energy, there is a need for having the corporate sector get into the devices. For example, you all have, you live in Mumbai, with a flick of button you have electricity, with the flick of another button you have gas. The gas comes from LPG. I see the future of rural India to produce all its energy needs from the local areas. And I can see the fuel being produced from agricultural residues, could be alcohol, could be anything, which could be again be run by a flick of switch or the electricity. For that, there is a need for a totally new devices which have never been done up till now, because all these devices come from urban areas. So there is a need for a totally new thinking. There's a lot of market. I have always urged my friends who are in the corporate sector, you make money. This is not something that you are going to do charity, but reduce your margins for rural areas. You make money, you create devices, and I can tell you that when we are going to have a decentralized systems, when we are going to have these devices running on the fuel produced locally, we'll create a new revolution which ultimately might spill over in the urban areas also. And this is what I call as the empowerment of rural India. The regeneration of rural India will come when we will have these excellent high technology devices developed for rural areas, because it requires a great quality of thought for developed devices running on low level of energies like biomass and solar. It is very easy to produce devices and etc. on high quality of energy like petroleum or coal, etc. So by doing that, we'll be creating a huge new development, both in technology, both in use of our resources, etc. etc. Resources and energy are in valued forms. Very efficient devices allow maximum energy and materials to be extracted for useful purposes. Biomimicry as a mantra. In fact, I have done a lot of work in lighting. I'll show you. And my dream is to develop a device which is just like a firefly, Jugnu. Nature does this fantastic. Nature converts chemical energy. How many of you have seen Jugnu? Does it produce light at 3600 degrees Celsius? Have you seen a Jugnu very hot? All our electric lighting is at a very high temperature, because nature converts chemical energy directly into electrical light with a very high efficiency. And this is something which has a tremendous ability to think in very fundamental manner. And if that comes, because I have a chemical energy, chemicals from produced locally, alcohol or whatever it is, and if I convert that into light, look at the science and technology that I would have created in providing light for rural areas. And this will spill over into urban areas later on. So this is the type of thing that I am trying to propose. And I am very much sure, I have read extensively on Gandhiji. Everybody used to criticize Gandhiji that he was very anti-industrialization, etc. But Gandhi wrote a very beautiful passage in 1920s. He says, I am a great disciple of this body. And this body is the most sophisticated machinery devised by anybody. So how can I be against industrialization? What I am against, and this is amazing, 1920s, what I am against is that electricity to be produced, he used that word, electricity to be produced in Bombay and shipped to Wardha.